Hello. So this is going to be a quick video on factoring quadratics when a is greater than 1. Um, there's no when a is equal to 1. My students did okay with that, so I've not made a video for that. This is going to be for when a is greater than 1. And we're not just going to factor it, we're also going to solve it. I use the AC method, and what I teach is the AC method. So when a is greater than 1, we're going to use the AC method. So off to the side, AC method. So if you have it in standard form, if you have your quadratic in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c, you're going to take a and c, and you are going to multiply them. All right, so let's get to an example. I got some written down off to the side. So 2x squared plus 3x minus 9 equals 0. So I can't factor out 2. 2 doesn't go into 3, 2 doesn't go into 9. I can't factor the 2 out. So a is greater than 1, it's 2. So I'm going to take my a and c values, coefficients, and multiply them. So I'm going to off to the side, I'm going to get 2 times negative 9. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. And then from here, going to create this little x. This is one way to do it. You could do factor trees, but you're going to take what that is, and you're going to take your b value. So my b value is 3. So what you're going to want to find is what numbers multiply to be negative 18, but add to 3. So what are the factors of negative 18 that add to 3? 6 and 3? Negative 6, positive 3? No. Positive 6, negative 3. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18, and 6 plus negative 3 is positive 3. So what I'm going to do with these two numbers is I'm going to break this middle term apart into these two terms. So I'm going to get 6x minus 3x. And then I'm just going to drop down my 2x squared. And I'm going to drop down my minus 9. All still equal to 0. So I drop that down. This is helpful. My students are like, why did we do that? So it just looks worse until they started doing it and it works. Is that now we have 4 terms, which is an even amount, which means we can group these two, and we can group these two. Now that's helpful because in these two terms, there is a greatest common factor. And that greatest common factor would be 2x. And when I factor out 2x, 2 divided by 2 is 1. X squared divided by x is x. 6 divided by 2 is positive 3. And x divided by x is 1. And we just don't need to write that. 3 times 1 is 3, so we just get 3. Greatest common factor here. Now, we don't ever want this number to be negative in front, so we're going to divide out the negative. So we're going to divide out the negative. And 3 goes into 3, and 3 goes into 9. So we're going to divide out negative 3. Didn't give myself much room here. I have to squeeze in an equal 0 right there. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1, so I'm left with just x here. Negative 9 divided by negative 3 is positive 3. Now what you see here, if it works, if you did it right, or if it even works, then I get those should be the same. And those are going to become one single factor. And what's going to become the other factor is the 2x combined with the minus 3. And we're going to still set that equal to 0. So now we factored it. It is factored. To go the next step to solve it, take both of these. So I could take this whole thing, drop it down, x plus 3 equals 0. Subtract 3, cancels out, x equals negative 3. That's going to be one solution. Drop this whole thing down, 2x minus 3 equals 0. Add 3, cancels out. 2x equals positive 3, divide by 2, cancels out. X equals 3 halves. So those are my two x-intercepts, my two zeros, my roots. And that's the AC method. So if I zoom out, yes, pretty lengthy problem. Definitely when you get into quadratics, this becomes one of the longer quadratic problems, unless you have a really nasty quadratic formula problem or an imaginary one. So that's the AC method. I'm going to do 2 more examples. So let's call this problem 2. We have 5x squared plus 19x plus 12 equals 0. So again, go up above. If it's in standard form, it should be A, B, C. So I'm going to take my A and C values and multiply them. Again, because I can't factor that 5 out. 5 doesn't go into 19 or 12. I can't divide it out, so I'm stuck with it. So I'm going to go 5 times 12. What is 5 times 12? 60. So I get 60. Draw my x. I'm going to take my B value, which is 19. And then I got to figure out what multiplies to 60 and adds to 19. Multiplies 60, adds to 19. 15 and 4. Positive 15, positive 4. All right, and I told my students, if you struggle with finding factors, Google is amazing. You can Google factors of 60, factors of 100, and it'll spit you out a bunch of factors, and then just find the ones that add to 19. That or you're gonna have to do a lot of guess and check and divide with a calculator. So I'm gonna separate this out into 15x plus 4x. Drop my 5x squared. Drop my plus 12 equals 0. All right, then we're going to come through and group. Make sure to include the symbol that goes with this one. All right, so what can I factor out? I can factor out a 5. 5 goes into 5, 5 goes into 15. They both have an x. This one has 2 x's, this one has 1 x, so I can factor out at least 1. 5x squared divided by 5x is x. 15x divided by 5x is plus 3. All right. I can factor out of this one a positive 4, and that's it. So positive 4. 4x divided by 4, x, 12 divided by 4 plus 3. And it works out again because these are the same, so it works. So I'm going to take these two things, again, are going to become 1. So I get x plus 3. And then my other factor is going to be 5x plus 4. All right, and I get equals 0. So what I have here is I'm taking the 5x and the 4, the two things that I factored out, creating one factor with that, and then I got this other one that combines. And really, it's just the distributive property. If I was going to multiply this x plus 3 back through, and this is what I explained to my students today, is if you take this x plus 3 and distributed it back through, if you multiplied it back through, you get 5x times x plus 3, and you get 4 times x plus 3, just like you have up above. So that's why these two get turned into 1, because if you were to work backwards and distribute it, x plus 3 would be multiplied by both of these individual terms, which is what you see, 5x, x plus 3. Positive 4, x plus 3. You just multiply it back through. Okay, anyways, what we're going to do, just like we did last time, we're going to complete solve this. So we're going to get x plus 3 equals 0, minus 3, minus 3. I get x equals negative 3. Drop this down. 5x plus 4 equals 0. Subtract 4, subtract 4. 5x equals negative 4. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. X equals negative 4 fifths. All right. Oh, I pulled on the cord. Of course I would do that. Well, my students always love laughing at me making mistakes, so what's another one in a YouTube video for everybody to see? All right. One last one. One last one. Cut this video off. We're going to get into some big numbers with this one. Why I chose it. I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to come up with this on the top of my head. I might have to use a calculator. We're going to get 7x squared plus 53x plus 28. Oh, yeah. Guaranteed going to have to use a calculator. I don't even know what 7 times 28 is. 7 times 28, 196. So I'm taking A and C. That's B, by the way. So I'm taking A times C because we're doing the AC method. Getting 7 times 28. That is 196. Okay, so I create my X, create my X. I need these factors to add to 53. Okay, I'm going to start off by dividing by 4. I'm going to see if I can get lucky. 196 divided by 4. 49 and 4. 49 plus 4 is 53. 49 and 4. Perfect. So we're going to separate this out into 49x plus 4x. Drop the 7x squared. Drop the 28. And I do want to make a point. This would totally work if you put the 4x and then the 49. I forgot to say that earlier. This order doesn't matter. You could do 4x plus 49x and it would still work. You would still get the same answer. So long as you're doing the right math, you would still get the same answer. All right. Let's group. Include the symbol. Okay. 7x is the greatest common factor. 7x squared divided by 7x is x. 49x divided by 7x is positive 7. Divide the 4 out. That looks like the greatest common factor here, so positive 4. 4x divided by 4 is x. 28 divided by 4 is positive 7. All works out. So we're going to get one common factor of x plus 7, and the other one will be 7x plus 4. Go through and solve it. So x plus 7 equals 0, subtract 7, subtract 7. X equals negative 7. Take this one down, 7x plus 4 equals 0. Subtract 4, subtract 4. 7x equals negative 4. Divide by 7. Run out of room, divide by 7. And x equals negative 4 sevenths. All right. I sincerely hope this was helpful. Yeah, hope it was helpful. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for watching.